Let me start with this. I know you throw out, how is everybody feeling? But so based on your social media feed and just your being in touch with people and talking to the fan base, what's your reaction to the fans' reaction to the trade for Baker Mayfield?
The fans, I think that they were a bit exaggerated. You had some guys who took the news kind of in stride, but I think a lot of people did not like it and had a negative view of the Baker Mayfield trade. I just kind of let people get off, let them go off and say their piece. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I actually think it might be better than what people think it will be. The fans weren't happy with it. There were a few who were happy, but the majority of the fans that I saw, their reactions were a bit, you're getting the same thing,
Sure.
the different side of the same coin. But it may work out for the Panthers.
All right, we got two sides of the coin. Which one I'm trying to figure out the metaphor. Which side lands face up on the week one starting? I saw some people say we don't trade for Baker Mayfield unless he's going to be your starter. And I saw some people say you're paying Sam Darnold all this money. He's the starter until he loses the job. Who do you think who do you think should be the starter? And then who do you think will be the starter?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because, neither one of these guys had amazing stats last year. But Rhule and Fitterer have said they wanted to create a competition at the quarterback spot. And that's what they've done with two guys drafted first and third in the 2018 draft and who feel like they've been disrespected. If I had to pick a week one starter today, I would say Baker Mayfield. I think that he will probably bring more of an edge to the team than Sam Darnold, who seems to be a bit dry. So I think that his attitude may align more with Coach Rhule and the coaching staff that he's put together this season. But we'll see. I mean, it should be a very interesting training camp.
You never know exactly who's calling the shots 100%. Obviously,
Right.
Dave Tepper he's fired a soccer coach. He's pulled out of a construction job, so we know he pulls some strings some places. But you don't know if Matt Rhule is saying, "Get me this quarterback," or if Scott Fitter's the one who's saying, "Let's go Baker Mayfield." But are you of the mind of if things don't work out well this season with Baker Mayfield, that the Matt Rhule era is done in Carolina?
I think Matt Rhule is on the hot seat. Historically, he has seen a turnaround in year three. I think it's important to note that was in college. We've heard that David Tepper, would allow Matt Rhule 5 years, but with at least four failed quarterbacks. I'm not going to include Cam Newton in that, but with three failed quarterback experiments, I feel like he is on the hot seat. David Tepper, although, people have his gripes with him, he does want to win, and he's still a businessman, and winning is lucrative. And so if you don't have a winning product on the field, then you're not maximizing his investment. I'm speaking in his terms. So, if your coach is not putting together a winning product, I think he's going to have to look another direction. But in all fairness, I do think Matt Rhule deserves another season to try to get things back on track. So we'll see what happens this year.
Vashti, I heard Carolina Blitz joining us. An interesting thing and a discussion I was having with somebody, regardless of who the starter is, which one is better, Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, that having two of them that both believe they probably could be starters could be a problem in and of itself. Where it doesn't matter which one's better. If you only had one of them and the team said, "Okay, this is our quarterback," then that would be an okay situation or a preferred situation to whoever goes out there as starter. If they have a bad first half, are you automatically looking to the other guy that's on the bench? Whereas if it's either one of them and the other one's not there, you have a bad first half and you wait it out and you win the game in the second half, and all of a sudden things look better. So the bottom line, I'm asking you, because I thought I heard this in your first answer, but I was more comparing the two quarterbacks. But let me just ask you, did the Panthers get better by adding Baker Mayfield?
I wouldn't say that they got better by adding Baker Mayfield. I feel like, I think that the front office and coaching staff feel like the competition will bring out the best in either player, and then they'll pick the best guy for this team. But I can't see that they got considerably better. The only difference between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold is attitude. And attitude is important. I do think Sam Darnold's confidence is shot, and I think that Baker Mayfield's confidence is unwavering. So, that might be the small thing that puts one over the other. But, does the addition of Baker Mayfield automatically make Carolina a playoff team, which is where I feel like they need to be in order to solidify Matt Rhule's job? No.
Vashti, I heard Carolina Blitz. Thank you, and thank you as always for joining us. Keep up the great work. You can follow her on Twitter at Carolina Blitz. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.